Hey everybody, I hope and pray that you're doing well today as we come to our word from the word. And today that word is watchman. Watchman. Now, as if you've looked in the Old Testament at all and you know kind of the idea, not just the Old Testament, but in old history as well, we know that the purpose of a watchman was someone that would be up on the wall looking. If you had the wall around the city, these were ones that were out looking to see if there was anybody coming, if there was enemy attacks on the way, or just let them know if somebody was coming, that something that didn't look right. But now it didn't just have to be a city wall; it could be those that were set off on hills, usually in high places, right, to get that good vantage point. And even in our society today, we have the same thing. You think about how many people have security cameras, right? You have watchmen, you have places that have security in general. Just having that thought process of having watchmen that are there ready to let you know when something's not right. Now, who do they alert? Well, they may alert all the people, but usually they would go back and alert the one that's in charge, their boss. They let their boss know that somebody is coming, something is wrong. Now, the reason I say all that and makes you understand that is because as you look in Isaiah 62 today, it's interesting to see that from God's vantage point, he is saying he has set watchmen, and the watchmen are to tell him something. Now, that's what I want us to look at today. Verses 6 and 7 of Isaiah chapter 62 today, he says, I have set watchmen on your walls, O Jerusalem. They shall never hold their peace day or night. You who make mention of the Lord, do not keep silent, and give him no rest till he establishes and till he makes Jerusalem a praise in the earth. Now, you can kind of summarize this thought to say that God is saying, I have set watchmen in order to see what's going on, but they are to ever reminding me of the promises that I've made to you. Now, do you think that God could actually forget a promise that he's made? Of course not. And of course not. But to think about the fact that he's even giving them that much more confidence that he is going to deliver in what he has said, because he says, look, I've set watchmen that are watching, they're watching over you, Jerusalem, and they are to remind me of what I've told you. Now, I don't know about you, but I have become forgetful, and we know that that happens as age as the years add on, and as we know, Johnny will tell me that it only gets worse. But God has always been and always will be, and He hasn't forgotten anything yet, and I don't look for Him to begin anytime soon. So just the fact that He would say, "You who are speaking to me, don't ever stop telling me what you need," based on the promises of what He already said. Now he's looking to, the millennium, looking ahead to that time of when Jerusalem and all these things we've been talking about, when all these things will be made right and perfect. But even then, we see this even in the New Testament in the prayer of Jesus. Let your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Even something as simple as that prayer and that model prayer, not just the exact words, but the model that it sets for us is that we are continually praying God's promises back to him. He promised that he'll never leave us nor forsake us. So then we pray that same thing back to him. We say, God, well, you told us you'd never leave us nor forsake us. Well, what do you think he needs reminding of? Well, let's even go back to the fact that he tells us that if we're praying, that we don't even have to, that even though he already knows what we have need of, he still wants us to tell him, still to cast all our cares upon him. Now, why would God need us to do that? Well, he doesn't need us to do anything, but he desires for us to have that relationship with him, to say, you know what, God, I believe your word and I believe your promises. And it's not the way of saying, hey, yes, I've read it. And hey, right here, God, you said this is what you're going to do. But it's the confidence that we pray, that we say, God, you say in your word that whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. And God, we know that you have taken and cast every sin as far as the east is from the west, if we'll ask forgiveness. And right, if we confess our sin, he is faithful and just to forgive us and cleanse us from all unrighteousness. These are just some of the promises that we pray back to God, not just to remind him, but to remind ourselves. And whatever watchman this is that he has put in place, whether it be angels or whether it be earthly messengers, regardless, I think each one of us needs to be a watchman. We need to be looking out to see what is coming. And when we see the enemy coming, we tell the boss. We tell God, we say, God, we see Satan. We see him coming after us. But God, you told us that you never leave us nor forsake us. God, you told us that there were going to be hard days. You told us that it was going to be difficult. But God, you also told us we could trust in you. And that's what we choose to do today. So how will you be doing in your job as a watchman today? God bless you. And I pray you have a great, great day.